All right, what's up, everyone? Welcome to another episode of Madness University. I'm Nick, here with LC, and we're going to cover an interesting topic today. It is about cracking slabs. If you are a collector, you most likely have some slabs, and at some point in time, you're probably going to want to crack them to either get them autographed or possibly upgraded or graded by a different company. So, LZ, I know you wanted to kick this one off. What do you got?
Okay. First advice, find a cheap slab to test on. Do not be cracking Luca's and MJ's and Mickey Mantles. Do not go near that stuff when you're first starting out. So go to a card show if you don't have any cheap slabs. Go to a card show, go to the discount bin, buy yourself two or three very cheap slabs. So that's number one. Um, I would say don't get intimidated. It's not as difficult as you may think. You need a few tools. So first, you're going to need a sharp set of pliers, or Nick prefers tile cutters. So that's number one. Number two is you're going to need probably just some sort of flathead screwdriver will do the trick. Um, and So you have these cheap slabs now. And my advice, which is kind of over the years what I've learned, is keep the slab in the sleeve. So a lot of these slabs have a
Mm,
plastic sleeve over them.
very good
You
advice.
are you are going to see shrapnel when you crack this thing, but if you keep it in the sleeve, it definitely brings the shrapnel down. Probably wear some glasses. I don't always do that because I get lazy, but
Definitely wear some glasses.
you should wear glasses. You should. I get lazy. I'm sorry, everybody, but I do. Um, so all you're going to want to do is you're going to want to take the tile cutters or the pliers, and you're going to find one corner, and you're just going to squeeze that plier on one of the corners, and you want to go just enough that it goes past kind of the first outer ring of the slab, and then after you cut that, it's going to allow you to slide that flathead screwdriver in and kind of gently go slow, pry open the slab. And you're going to kind of want to work it around the corners and around the edges of the slab. And then you should be able to take apart the slab and gently take out the card. So that's really it. Um there are plenty of videos out there. Actually, Nick did a really good one on his Instagram. Probably, I'm gonna guess maybe 6 months ago. So that'd be good to go and reference it and look that up. But that's really it. So just practice a couple times. That's it, and look at some videos. Don't just listen to what I just told you and try to do it. Definitely look up a video. But it's not that difficult. Nick, what do you want to add?
Yeah, a couple things here. So the good news is slabs have four corners. So this has happened to me before. Crack one, I crack another corner, and then whoop, you get like a lightning bolt of a crack down the middle, and you're like, crap. Because if you start to peel that apart, it gets really close to the card. But good news, there's two more corners to work with. So just reverse the card, crack the bottom corners, and you get a second try. You definitely want to start with the label, but if you have an emergency situation, that is acceptable as well. I will say it's kind of like wearing a helmet in the 80s. We all told our parents we did, but none of us really actually did. This time around, wear glasses. And I will tell you this, I've probably cracked, I don't know, we'll call it 50 to 100 cards, something like that. At least five times, I've gotten shrapnel like an inch above my eyebrow and gone, holy crap, I'm really glad I'm wearing glasses. There were a couple times where I wasn't wearing glasses and said, man, we really missed the trip to the hospital on that one. So just throw on
Hmm.
some glasses.
Hmm.
It's like, it's not a difficult thing. This stuff, you would be surprised. It's sonically sealed with sound. The sound waves compress that plastic to the point where it's almost like bulletproof glass. So if you hit something in a certain vein, it will literally shoot like a gun. And it can get very sharp. Don't do it with your kids or pets around. Just go in your office, throw on some music, throw on some glasses, and have a good time. That's what I'd recommend. And go slow. Don't do this with like it's 5 minutes before you got to cook dinner. Make sure you got some time like laid out for you. And then I'd say the only other thing I want to add, there's variations between the companies. So in terms of difficulty for me, the PSA new label is the absolute hardest one to crack. It's just so well sealed and so strong, and it just spider webs everywhere. You want to take your time, make sure you really crack those corners
Mhm.
good around the label before you go nuts. In terms of difficulty, I'd say SGC is the easiest. It's a huge slab. It's almost like a massive frame for the card. There's just so much space around the card, and it's all just black cushiony stuff that protects it. So, you could take that one out back and put it on a cinder block and hammer the corners, and you'd probably be okay with SGC. But either way, I would start with SGC slabs. They're just so easy. And like then you go to PSA, get like a couple like crappy cards. Beckett's somewhere in the middle. They can be brutal. The thing about Beckett to realize too is that you crack the slab, but there's one more step, you pull it out. It's got like not like a penny sleeve, it's higher quality than that, but it's like wrapped in another layer of plastic. So you've got another adventure there where you've got to kind of like get that plastic out as well without scraping it on any of the edges. So just be aware there's two steps to Beckett. Um, Other than that, I think that's it. And you know what? If you're at a show, just go ask around to a dealer like, hey, have you ever cracked a card before? And you know what? Just like buy a card off them, and as part of the negotiation, say, yeah, I'm cool with that price as long as you show me how to crack a card or something like that. And it could be fun, and they might show you. I guarantee you half of the dealers at these shows have cracked their own cards. So
Yeah.
yeah.
hmm Yeah. One other advice that I just remembered when Nick was talking about the label, make sure you save the label, especially if you're going to resubmit, like you're going to go get an autograph and maybe you want to resubmit to PSA. So with Nick's example about going from um, SGC and then moving to PSA, I don't think that really matters. You don't have to submit the label if you're going to PSA. But if you're going from PSA back to PSA or from Beckett back to Beckett, um, we actually had Nat Turner on the show a couple, I don't know, a bit ago, and he's the CEO of Collectors Universe, which is PSA. And Nat, we asked him this question, and Nat said it is a good idea to submit the old label because it just gives them more information to use.
Yeah.
Now, if you want to crack because you think that it got graded a 6 and you actually think it's an 8, then do not do not give that label. But that's just a way of protecting yourself a bit. Make sure you submit that with that
The
label
label is
again.
also important because it actually is involved in pop counts. That doesn't matter so much on your modern cards, but let's say there's only, I don't know, 25 PSA 9s for like this vintage card. If you don't resubmit the label, the pop count will expand by one because you're adding
Mm-hmm.
a new card to it. But if you include the old label, they'll just kill that old one and replace it with this new one. And you're kind of like controlling your market, especially if it's a set you care about and you have cards in that grade. I know Probstein talked about controlling the MJ market. I guarantee you, if he ever crossed any of those, he would include the old labels so that they removed it and that they
Sure.
updated this one. So there are other factors at play.
Mm-hmm. Yep. All right, Nick. Well, I think that pretty much covers um cracking. What do you think?
I agree. I think we're
Okay.
good.
All right.
There's videos on this. Kurt's Card Care has a video on this. I've done a video on my Instagram on this. Just Google it on YouTube or go to your dealer and ask.
Okay.
Cool.
Great.
All right. Thanks everyone.